we left Winslow, Arizona the other day, and I'd done a video about, you know, what we do, how we pack things up, and kind of mundane sort of thing. But we were headed to Tucson for our 44th wedding anniversary, and we kind of, you know, like to drive for a few hours, and if we can stop somewhere, great. You know, if you have to drive for 8 hours, that gets to be a pretty long day, and then you still have to get situated for the night. So, you know, 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that's plenty. The drive to Tucson was going to be about 5 hours, and so we kind of looked for some place in between, and Terry found this just little gem of a campground, and we're nestled in a bunch of pine trees. It's not the greatest view in the world because we've got like a group camping area and vault toilets in front of us, but the thing that's fantastic about this little spot is that it's very remote, quiet, even though it's right off of a highway. But where we're situated with the RV, we get full satellite service, which Terry likes to have, and I do too on the weekends. Usually sports or something that I watch. And then we've got really good cell service, which is rare in this part of the world because it's very remote here. So we went to Tucson and we stayed in a KOA, and it's nice to have full hookups, but you know, KOAs on our budget are pretty expensive, although I will say in Tucson it wasn't that bad. 2 nights was like a little over $100. And it's nice to have full hookups. Fruit trees, and they're okay with you helping yourself to the fruit. And Terry does all of the laundry, and we empty all the tanks and fill all the tanks, you know, before we leave, so that we're all set. So we filled up with propane, diesel, you know, water, everything. And we were headed to Yuma, but instead of going to Yuma, because we always stop in Yuma and Terry gets her annual blood pressure medication refills in Mexico, because it's way less expensive and less hassle than here in the United States. So we get our blood pressure medication down there. But instead of going to Yuma, we decided to come back to this little campground and spend a few days here and relaxing, because we're the only ones here. But it's $5 a night because we get half off being older and dirt, and Gizzy likes it, and it's just peaceful, and so we decided to come back here, spend a few days, and then we'll head over to Yuma and then on to San Diego to enjoy time with our kids for Christmas. So we're looking forward to that. But one thing, when we came through this area, you know, Arizona had always struck me as being more of a desert kind of a place, and it is. I mean, there's a lot of desert area here for sure, but there's also a lot more mountainous area than what, you know, first comes to mind when you think of Arizona. I typically think of like Tucson, Phoenix, Yuma, you know, and that's, you know, southern Arizona. But central and northern Arizona is pretty mountainous. And when we came down this highway, US 60, between Show Low and Globe, there is a canyon called the Salt River Canyon. And all of a sudden, you're just on this thing, and down you go into it, and you climb back out the other side. And on the south side of that canyon, it is a series of switchbacks, and you go from the river level back up to the top in about 5 miles of road. and I think it's probably about a mile, several thousand feet anyway in climb there. So it's pretty impressive. I wanted to get it on video, but it just doesn't translate very well. At least not with the GoPro. So I took some still photos and kind of give you just a little bit of a feel for this thing and the old bridge at the bottom, etc. But it's really gorgeous. And if you're ever wanting to cut through Arizona and you don't want to do the typical up through Phoenix, because I-10 in Phoenix is just a pain in the ass. Certain times of the day it's stop and go. So if you want to avoid Phoenix and still get up to I-40 and continue east or west or whatever you're doing, you can avoid the whole Phoenix thing and come up through Globe on this back highway. I don't remember the numbers, south of here, but basically you end up on highway US 60 going north through here towards Show on the way to Holbrook is where you'll hit I-40. But man, it's gorgeous. Well worth the trip through. Anyway, thanks for watching.